On today's episode, I want to talk about my favorite German castles. This is only a small list because, in case you didn't know, Germany has a ton of them. But as the weather gets slowly better and some tourists are slowly trickling back into the land of beer and pretzels, I thought I would recommend my favorites. Hello, Yin Lieblings, I'm Mari, science fiction and fantasy author who's been living in southern Germany since 2014. After such heavier topics like citizenship and whether or not Germany is the right country for you, spoiler alert it is, I thought we'd go a little more lighthearted this week and ask the real burning questions like, which are the best German castles? Because I'm sure that's what y'all really want to know. Like I said earlier, this is a small list. I have mostly been around Bavaria and Baden-Württemberg, so I know my list only covers a teeny tiny itsy bitsy piece of an exhaustive list of castles in Germany. But I thought that some of my favorites are also lesser known ones and they should also get some love. And in case you're wondering, I'm not going to hit the well-known Neuschwanstein in Bavaria or the one in Heidelberg in Baden-Württemberg because everyone knows them. And while I do recommend them, like I said, I'm all for lesser known ones. So let's do this countdown style. Number 5 is Nuremberg Castle. So yeah, okay, this one's also a well-known one, which is actually why it's like the last one on my list. But one thing I do think Europe really has over the US is the fact that, some of their buildings are museums themselves. I mean, we have old buildings in the States as well. I mean, the Native Americans were there for like 13,000 years before the Europeans came. So there are buildings that reflect that history. Obviously, just not as many as in Europe. Most museums in the States are, of course, huge limestone structures, and usually the limestone most likely came from my home state of Indiana. Woot woot. And while the buildings are big and stately, it's usually just the items inside that are like the valuable historical pieces. On the other hand, you have buildings like the Nuremberg Castle, which is where the building itself is also a historical piece. And I think that's cool. It's a very different experience walking through those halls, knowing that people have been walking through them for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's very cool. Number 4, Meersburg Castle and Fortress. So in the town of Meersburg on Lake Constance, there are 2 castles next to each other. One is Baroque, I think. Don't quote me. While the other one is technically medieval. It's a fortress. So the more modern one, the Baroque one, I said Baroque in quotes, is usually more for like events and has a cafe inside, while the medieval one is an actual museum, just like the one in Nuremberg. And I mean, I love me a good museum. So that's really cool. And as a bonus, being up there where both castles are, you get a stunning view of Lake Constance and the Alps. It's very cool. Number 3 is Vailtingen. So this was actually the first fortress I went to when I first moved to Germany. My husband, who was my boyfriend at that time, took me to Vailtingen because it is also the home of a well-known shopping outlet. Vailtingen is a good place to visit if you like both ruins and shopping, or if shopping leads you to ruin. That was a stupid joke. Anyway, Vailtingen was the first place that made me realize you could get married in a castle. There was an area that was being set up for a wedding, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And then fast forward a few months after that, where one of my closest friends also got married in a castle in Bavaria, and it was such a magical experience. And it leads me to my number 2, which is Castle Colmberg. So of course, this place is going to have a special place in my heart because this is where we got married. Colmberg is located in the town of Colmberg, real original, I know, in Bavaria, between Rotenburg ob der Tauber and Ansbach. It is a hotel, but honestly, like what I love most about it is the food. The restaurant at the castle is some of the best I've ever had. It has won Michelin awards consistently for the last several years, and they deserve it every single time. So if you want an amazing meal with a gorgeous 1,000-year-old castle, go to Colmberg. Also, getting married there was amazing. Like, they host weddings there pretty much every weekend, and they took care of every detail perfectly. Like, I didn't have to worry about a single thing, and they took care of everything. It was awesome. It was just, oh man, 10 out of 5 stars. Like, they are great. So my number 1 is Hohentwiel. Now you're probably wondering why I picked a 1,000-year-old fortress over my 1,000-year-old other fortress. What was the wedding venue in terms of my number 1 spot? And that's because I love hiking these ruins. I pretty much hiked Hohentwiel, I think like 5 times. I'd do it again in a heartbeat if I could. I also used to live 30 minutes from there when I lived on Lake Constance, so that was part of it. And I've actually done a lot of blog posts, especially when my other pug, Abner, was still alive, and I even made a vlog. These ruins were the inspiration for a fortress in my first novel, in The God Queen. Yeah, so it's a great fortress. Hohentwiel, if you're wondering where it is located in the town of Singen on Lake Constance. And on a good day, you can see the lake and the Alps from the top of the ruins. And it is so freaking cool. But you need a good day. So, I mean, everybody who's lived on Lake Constance knows that doesn't happen all the time. And on top of that, if you still want some more hiking because you're feeling a little adventurous, because Hohentwiel is not a hard climb, then you could also tack on Hohenkreien. You can see Hohenkreien from Hohentwiel on a good day. And you'll find that Hohenkreien is the route to these ruins are a little more precarious because, especially once you get there, there are no stairs. It's just a jumble of rocks and a steel cable. It's really fun. And that is my list, guys. It's very short and very sweet. What do you guys think? What are your favorite castles? Let me know in the comments below. Like, seriously, I want to visit more, so I'm open to any and all recommendations. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up. It lets me and YouTube know that you like this kind of content and you want to see more. Please leave me a comment if you have any questions or if there's a certain topic you'd like to see on this channel. If you want more info on my books and newsletter, check them out in the description below. And don't forget to connect with me on social media, whether it is through TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And that's it. Until next time, ade!